Hey guys, welcome to my channel and welcome to my first video. So I've dealt with sensitive skin my entire life. As I've gotten older, my skin's just become that much more sensitive. So since this has been happening, I've been trying to switch out most of my products to either sensitive skin, natural, or fragrance-free. But in trying all these different products, I found that a lot of them still irritate my skin, and a lot of them sneak in some fragrance or some additive that's not good for sensitive skin, and honestly blows my mind why it's in those products at all. I'm gonna go on a sensitive skin journey with you guys, and I'm gonna make my own DIY products, so if there is something irritating my skin, at least I know exactly what it is, and I know exactly what's going into my body, and I'll save a little bit of cash in the long run. So today I'm gonna be trying some DIY deodorants with you guys. Let's hope this works, because I would love to have some natural deodorant and something that gets the stank away from these pits. So let's try it out, my friends. The first one I'm going to be showing you guys is a deodorant that you're going to be putting into a little jar. And this recipe comes from simplegreensmoothies.com. And the ingredients for this are actually pretty straightforward and simple, so I'm sure you guys won't have any problem finding them. So get yourself a bowl first and foremost. You're gonna be putting the baking soda in there, which is half a cup. Bam. Next step is to grab your arrowroot powder or your cornstarch. Ba-bam. Now, it's gonna get a little messy. It's gonna get a little wild, but you know we're okay with that. We're not about perfection, we're about results. That's what we're about, sisters. In the recipe, it says to use a stand mixer. But I don't have one of those, so I'm gonna use a hand mixer, okay? We're about improvising, all right? All right, so we're back with our mixed powders. Don't feel bad if you're a little bit confused if it mixed together well or not, because I was too, but just give it a good go, and we'll see how this turns out. So the next thing you wanna do is get your coconut oil here. You're gonna need 5 tablespoons. Now let's dig that out of here. Oh my god, it smells so good. I love coconut. I went through a phase where I would eat anything with coconut in it, put anything scent-wise on my body that had coconut in it, and I just smelled like a tropical genie for like 2 years, and honestly, it was the peak of my life. I'm gonna pop all my tablespoons of coconut oil in here, and I'll be right back. All right, you guys, so now I have the delicious smelling coconut oil in here. So the next step we're gonna do is put your essential oils in here. It says you need 20 drops of your chosen essential oils. Now, I'm really bad at doing 1 drop at a time, so this might take me a minute. I'll just fast forward for you guys. All right, so we have the coconut oil and the essential oils in there, and this smells really good, so this is very promising. I'm actually really excited to try this. This smells better than any natural deodorant I've ever had. I hope you guys are just as excited as I am. I'm gonna mix this all together. It says mix well, so pray for me because I'm using this whisk again. Okay, you guys, so I'm back after what feels like forever. I tried the whisk, absolutely did not work. All the coconut oil just sat in the middle of the whisk and did absolutely nothing. I tried a trusty fork, that didn't work. So I decided to use my hands because the coconut oil probably need to be heated up a little bit to mix with the dry ingredients, which worked. Now it says to pour this into one of these little jars here. You can get these from the dollar store pretty cheap. I got a pack of 3 for $2. And I don't think pour is the right verb. When you're finished, it should look something like this, more like a little paste. As you can guys see, it's almost like icing. That's what this reminds me of. It's like icing. So next step is transfer that into one of these. Guys, so I put that deodorant in there and it actually wasn't too difficult. I just used a spoon and scooped. Seemed to be the right verb for this one. Now in the recipe it says this lasts from 3 to 6 months, so I just put a label on there to remind myself, and I put what kind of scent it was, when I made it, and when it will probably start getting a little bit weird. Now it also said in the recipe that obviously because we've used coconut oil, the solidification of this and the liquefaction can change based on temperature, so don't put it anywhere that's going to get too hot, and don't put it in the fridge because it will be too hard. Now let's get on to the second one. Alright you guys, so this second recipe is from mommakesjoy.com, and this one's actually very similar to the other one, except there's a solidification ingredient in it. This time I opted for lavender. I absolutely love lavender. I put it on my pillow at night, and if you're like me and you struggle with anxiety, this can really take the edge off. So why not put it in your deodorant and have it on you all day? Now, the last but not least is a solidification ingredient. Now, in the recipe, it says you can use beeswax, shea butter, or cocoa butter. I opted for shea butter because I'm a little bit more familiar with it, and because I have sensitive skin, I was a little bit wary about using just a full-on wax that could clog my pores. I'm sure it would be fine and you guys can test it out for sure, but this is just what I went with, and this also has a moisturizing element for it, so you can't really go wrong with it. Now, you're gonna need to melt down your waxes and your butters. And in the recipe for this, it says you need a double broiler, or if you don't have that, you can use a heat-safe glass bowl on top of a saucepan. Have the water boiling lightly underneath so it's not hitting the glass bowl. Now, I do not have either of these, so I opted for another improvisation because I'm a bitch on a budget, and if I can improvise something and get the same result, I'm gonna do it. So I decided to use one of these babies, and I'm gonna put a bigger pot underneath so it's boiling just enough that it's not hitting the bottom, but the heat will come through and melt my butter. So hopefully that works. And the next thing you're going to need is a mold. You can use silicone molds if you have them, but I looked online to see things you could make out of things out of your house just in case you don't have them. So it said you could use an old juice box. I just taped the sides to give it a little more structure because we will be putting something hot in here. Or you can use just a regular ice tray. So I'm gonna start mixing together all the other ingredients because I wanna get this done before I start melting the butter. Because I don't wanna have the butter ready to mix all the other things in and them not be ready and end up burning the butter or ruining it somehow. So the first thing we're going to need is 4 to 5 tablespoons of arrowroot powder or cornstarch. All right, so I put 4.5 tablespoons in here to give it a right in the middle ratio we need. And the next thing we're gonna need is 2 to 4 tablespoons of baking soda. All right, so once again, I put in the middle range amount. So I put 3 tablespoons of baking soda in there. And now it's asking for 6.5 to 7 tablespoons of coconut oil. Once we've done that, we're gonna add 6+ drops of whatever essential oil you want. So basically to smell. All right, you guys, so I finished mixing this up with my hands and it turned out like an icing consistency like we want. I put about 8 drops of my essential oil in here, so it smells about strong enough for me. Now we're gonna start melting the other stuff and eventually integrate this in. So while we're waiting for this to boil, you might wanna prepare your glass container with your shea butter or beeswax. Now it says to put 1.5 to 1.8 ounces, and I opted for the 1.8 just because I thought it was better to have more for the solidification of the bar. All right, so now it's at a full boil and we want to take that down so it's at a more gentle, soft boil. Turn it down. I have mine at about a 3-4 minimum. All right, so that looks about good. So we're ready to put on the glass container. Just place that right on top of there. Now it says if you're going to be using the wax that you want to use something that you're willing to throw away to mix with. Something like this or a coffee stirrer, but since I'm just using a butter, I'm gonna be using a silicone spatula. Oh, starting to melt already. This butter probably will not take as long as the beeswax, so we won't be here very long. All right, so once this is fully melted, we're gonna be adding in that mixture that we made before, which will be pretty frickin' soon. So my improvisation little container here, instead of using a double broiler, actually worked, so yay for improvisation. The thing that always bothers me about DIY videos is that they always say, oh, you need this specifically. I'm like, bitch, I don't have that. Okay, I'm gonna do my best with what I have, and if that doesn't work, I'm not gonna do it. Y'all feel me? You know, you bitches on budgets. All right, so we getting there. This is actually really soothing. If you're having a terrible day, just melt some f***ing butter and you'll feel like f***ing butter. All right, so that looks pretty good. So we're gonna grab our mixture from before, this little doodad, and we're gonna just scoop it in. So we want everything to melt together, and it says to mix everything well because the arrowroot powder or cornstarch can settle at the bottom. It's so satisfying when things integrate well. And now I can smell the essential oils coming out. Oh, so therapeutic. All right, so we're gonna pick up speed so we don't get any of that stuff settling, which I'm not really seeing, but you know, just follow the recipe and I could stop questioning it. Yeah, I can see things a little bit settling. I'm just gonna turn the heat down because it's already melted and I just don't want to start to get a little weird. Yeah, I definitely can see the graininess on the bottom, so the recipe was right. I don't know why I question people. It smells so good. I can't wait to put this on my stinky pits. Wow. Honestly, I feel like that's really well integrated. I'm not really getting that graininess anymore. So I'm gonna turn that off and grab our molds. All right, so it says to set up your molds on a cutting board or something so you don't wreck any surfaces with the wax or butter. Now I'm going to put on my oven mitts like a smart, sensible person because I burned myself too many times. Now we're gonna pour it in here. I'm gonna try and pour most of it into this one just because that's kind of the shape I want it. Oh, okay. So it made enough for one little mixture in here. The amount that comes out was about the amount of a juice box. So I'm gonna put this into the fridge and let it solidify. It didn't really say how long it's gonna take, so I'll let you guys know when it's finished. So it took about 1 to 2 hours for this to fully solidify in the fridge. After it was done sitting in the fridge, I did take it out and left it at room temperature because that's what it says you're supposed to keep it at in the recipe. But since I used just a butter, it did kind of do what butter does at room temperature and get a little bit soft and squishy. That's why it looks a little bit weird. But it does say in the recipe that you can remelt this down and add more of the solidification ingredient if you want this to be more solid. Alright you guys, so we're going to be trying that first deodorant, the one that's a paste in the little jar. Yes, my hair is a completely different color. In between filming, I dyed it orange because I absolutely love Halloween and I can't wait, and this is how I'm gonna go, okay? Anyways, so the 3 things I'm kind of looking for with these deodorants are how they're gonna feel on my pits, if they're gonna keep the stink away, and if they'll last throughout the day. So that's what we're gonna be looking for when we're trying these out. I have the first deodorant here, and it says that you could use just a pea-sized amount should be enough, but I'm usually pretty liberal with my deodorant, so I'll probably use a little bit more because I'd rather smell more like deodorant and less like BO. So I'm just gonna put some of this on my pits and we'll see how it feels first and foremost. Scoop it off with my scoop it off the finger and just apply it. It's going on. Not bad actually. It kind of feels like a normal deodorant, which is really weird. It's on. Oh my god, that's so weird. Yeah, it went on. Okay, let's do the other stanky bit. I'm just doing like toothpaste amount. Like, okay, I know you're supposed to do a pea size of toothpaste, you guys. I know. But really, does that work for anybody? Who cleans their teeth with a pea size amount? It's like blowing my mind. It feels like normal deodorant. I don't even notice it on my pits. So first thing so far, the feeling of it, absolutely great. Honestly, this is better than a lot of natural deodorants feeling because it doesn't have that wet feeling. It feels like the normal solid pit sticks. So far so good. All right, so let's put this deodorant to the real test and see if it will cover the stank and last all day. So while I'm waiting, I'm gonna be doing some household chores, you know, cleaning that mess and the dishes. Dun, dun, dun. So we'll be back in a couple hours and I'll let you guys know how I smell. All right, you guys, so it's been about 4.5 to 5 hours. I started at 11:30 and I'm done my dishes, done all my sweat and housework, and I've been checking my pits this whole day and they don't smell like anything. As for the sensitivity of my pits, they actually feel really good. And when I first put it on, I did have a little razor burn and it itched a little bit, but after about half an hour, it totally went away and I forgot I was even wearing it. It stayed on all day, got rid of the stink, and it doesn't feel weird on my pits, so I would 100% recommend this over paying $9 for a store deodorant that irritates my pits. It doesn't fully work all the way, and sometimes wears off halfway through the day. So this is Annika approved. It's the next day after I tried that first deodorant, and everything went really good yesterday. I didn't really have a lot of irritation with my sensitive skin, but this morning I woke up and realized that I have irritation dots all the way down here where I don't shave because I'm not a psychopath. So obviously it's from the chafing of the baking soda or something in that deodorant. So for sensitive skin, unfortunately this doesn't work like everything else I've tried for sensitive skin. Which sucks because this was awesome for not feeling weird, smelling good all day, and not wearing off all day. So disappointed, but let's try the next thing. And hopefully my armpits feel a little better afterwards. Alright you guys, so it's been a couple days since I tried that first deodorant. So I let the irritation bumps go away before I tried the second one to give it a fair shot. so we're gonna be trying the bar one today. I'm just gonna cut little chunks off of it because I don't want to be holding a giant like butter bar and have it melt in my hand and get really weird. So I'm just gonna kind of rub like a little bit on my armpit and we'll see how it goes. All right, so I have my little thing and we're just gonna rub it on there. This one I know is like, it's like a buttery, obviously. So I'm a little wary about how the feel is gonna be. When you're melting butter on a steak, that's what it feels like. I don't know if that's good or not. Can you guys see how shiny my hand is? Like, my hand is super shiny. It's glistening, but okay. First impressions, not very great for this one. All right, so I didn't even use all of that little bit. It went on pretty well, but maybe I just put too much on. I think I'm gonna wipe a little bit off because like, it's so greasy because it's like coconut oil and butter. Like, what did I expect? I'm just gonna take some tissue and dab some off just so it's not like a slip and slide under there. So that was probably just human error because there's a little bit on it. It's not, yeah, it's not bad. I just put way too much on. So I took a little off just so I can feel it on there, but it's not like melted butter prawns under my armpits, you know? All right, so since I took a little bit of it off, it's not that bad. It feels more just like a gel deodorant, which I've used before and I don't really mind, so that's good. We're gonna put it to the test. I'm gonna see how long it keeps the stink away, and if it lasts all day, I'm gonna do some more household chores. Gonna be doing my dishes again and folding laundry. And I don't know about you guys, but I absolutely hate folding laundry. For me, that is the worst possible chore. I don't know what it is, but like digging through all the clothes and the towels and everything is just so annoying. And folding small things for some reason, to me, are harder than folding the big things. But anyways, wish me luck. All right, so I'm starting this at 11:05. All right, so it's been about 4.5 hours since I put on the deodorant. All right, you guys, so I've been wearing this deodorant all day and I was checking my pits while I was folding my laundry. Finished that. Thank you for sending me the good vibes. I needed it. And I don't smell anything in my pits. This one is good so far. It's been lasting all day. Unfortunately, the lavender didn't really come through, but it smells like coconut and shea butter, which I love coconut oil, y'all know, so I'm okay with that. Oh, and no irritation so far. If I wake up tomorrow and I don't have a rash under my armpits, this is gonna be Inika approved and good for sensitive skin. So fingers crossed, and I'll let you guys know tomorrow. All right, you guys, so it is the next morning after I tried on that bar deodorant, and hallelujah, there is no irritation on these pits. The bar deodorant passed all the tests, checked every box, and I actually noticed my armpits were more moisturized than normal because I guess the coconut and shea butter, it lasted all day, kept stink away, and it didn't irritate my pits. So if you guys have sensitive pits and looking for a natural DIY deodorant, I would definitely recommend the bar one for you guys. A little goes a long way and it will last you a long time, and it's definitely a good bang for your buck. So, yay! Thank you so much for watching, you guys. I hope you got something out of this video and hopefully have a new deodorant to try because I know I do. So please subscribe if you guys want to see more videos like this, and I'll be posting other little goofy videos here and there too, so stick around and hopefully see you guys next time.